Joe Badon is a producer, filmmaker, writer. He did a movie called The God Inside My Ear, which he made for $8,000. I was super into that indie production thing because at Garblick, me and Jacob are planning to make movies for around that budget. And we have three now in pre-production, one that's about to get made. And we learned a ton from Joe Badon. I wanted to share the conversation that me and Joe had on the podcast a little while ago, at least the best of that. So here are the takeaways from my conversation with Joe Badon. First, we talked about how Joe self-funded God Inside My Ear.
I had originally was just going to film it myself. I was going to basically wear all the hats and try to just do it as low budget as possible. And a Facebook friend of mine reached out to me who was a DP, director of photography. And he just said, man, I'd really be interested in reading the script. And he had done a lot of weddings. He'd done a lot of drone work for different movies and television. But he had never done a feature film. So he's really hungry to do a feature. So he read the script, he loved it. And so it just went from me just doing this, thrown together film that I knew wasn't going to look very good to a movie that was all of a sudden, it was going to be in 4K and he had all the equipment. So we didn't have to pay for equipment or rent equipment. And so I kept the cost low on that end because Daniel, my DP, had all the equipment already.
Then we talked about the production process, how he shot the movie in 13 days.
We knew that it was going to be really fast. We shot it in 13 days, on such a tight budget. And I had done storyboards for a living for about 10 years. I knew I could get every shot down visually, and I'd done comic books. So I knew if we just got every shot down visually, we could get those shots done, and we knew we'd be able to tell the entire story without having to sit there on set scratching our heads like, oh, did we lose any footage? Or maybe we shoot too much footage. We shot the footage we needed and didn't have to overshoot or end up doing pickups later.
Then, and this is genius, this is what I really loved about it, how and why he wrote the script around locations. This is something me and Jacob are doing as well with Garblick. We have 3 scripts written around locations. I'm about to write a 4th one where we know what locations we have access to, and then we're structuring our scripts around them so we can knock these out cheaply.
What I did was I kind of backwards wrote my script in the sense that I found all the locations that I could afford and I wrote the script around those locations. There's this one warehouse that's in where I live in Slidell, right outside New Orleans, and it's like a prop warehouse and they have all these sets built inside the warehouse to film at. There's like a hospital set, a sci-fi control room set, all these different sets. And so I toured that warehouse and I wrote a script around that, all those locations. So I knew beforehand that I knew I had the budget. Like all I needed to do was a volunteer casting crew. We did go over budget. I was actually going to go lower, but I gave myself a buffer room. I was trying to go for like 5 or 6, but I gave myself buffer room. And I think that's important too. You never want to go, don't want to have just the amount of money that you're shooting for. You always want to give yourself buffer,
I asked him about feedback. Who gave him feedback on the script?
I'm a big fan of like David Lynch and Alejandro Jodorowsky and all these kind of surrealist writers and directors. So I wrote it in a real stream of conscious kind of thought vomit kind of dream logic. And so then after I wrote it, I sent it out to some of my friends who either I just appreciate their taste or I also had a director friend in Hollywood. He had actually bought one of my old scripts. And so I sent the script to him too and to a few other people. And so I had them read it and then they came back with a whole bunch of feedback. And then I rewrote it and then sent it back and then rewrote it one more time. So it went through 3 drafts until it came to that final draft.
And post-production, after the film was created, how did he handle the editing process, the music, all of that?
I'm still saying $8,000, but we did spend a little money on post-production, but most of the post-production was free. Like 90% of the post-production was my editor who had worked on the film, Joseph Estrade. He had been doing assistant camera work. He did all the editing and did the original sound design and sound mixing and all the special effects. And then after we finished, he was pretty adamant, like, let's try to get this sound remixed, because he wasn't like confident on his sound mixing capabilities. So we did reach out to a sound company who then we haggled and we got down to $1,400 to do a remix on the sound. And they were just kind enough because they really believed in the story. They were like, we'll work with you.
If you want the full interview with Joe Badon, check that out in the description. description below. If you want the proposal that we use as a video production company to sell documentaries, that is over at experiment27.com/proposal. You can have that for free. If you know somebody that would get value from this video, I'd love if you would share it with them. Give this one a like as well and comment. I'm Alex Berman. Thanks.